All right, now the NPCs I was mentioning, incredible detail, just staggering. It would be great for an important NPC, both enemies, foes, and also important NPCs that might be members of a party. But I would not use it as just your monster number 48 that we're just going to run into on the road somewhere. They have all the OGL monsters are in here converted for uh, for their rule system. Now, one thing they do in this is that, for example, there's something known as a bite attack 1. There are also bite attacks 2, 3, 4, and 5. Like I said, everything in this game is broken down into distinct quanta. And if you have one of these abilities, say you're a Drake, and you've acquired more than one type of bite attack or different from different abilities, both racial and say class ability or something like that. Say you've got 3 bite attacks, different levels of this one ability, and it's bite attack 2, 2, and 1. Now you don't actually have a bite 5. You take the highest level single one, which would be a 2, and you add +1 for each additional level of that ability. So the +2 you get +2, 1 from the second bite 2, and then from the one from the bite 1. So 3 of those would add up to a bite 4, which is of course more powerful than a bite 3, less powerful than a bite 5. And all the abilities in the game are like that. Again, distinct quanta. They also have templates in here, which are some of them are very nice. Kind of nice having. It's nice having templates built into this. Next, the last section of the game is about the world. Now you notice I haven't mentioned alignments. In this game, you don't need to use alignments. Alignments only come into play if you play specific types of characters. For example, paladins gotta have alignments. Priests have to have alignments. And alignments are tied to specific powers, we'll say. For example, elemental alignments, divine alignments, like infernal, or infernal, sorry, infernal or celestial. That's what I'm trying to say. To a specific type of race, something like that. So think of them as more advanced than domains, because they have 5 levels, again, that 5-level theme, and they go up fairly significantly in power. And as you advance in certain classes, that allows you to take steps on your path, your alignment path, and that's what they call it. They call it an alignment path. And it's a nice thing. Your average person doesn't have an alignment. It's totally dependent on how you play your character. But some people have to basically have a more codified moral view of the universe because of their class requirements. I think that's kind of an interesting way of looking at it. Then we have all kinds of stuff in here about how different. Does your game have spells? If it does, what kind of spells? This game is broken down into time periods. Primitive, ancient, feudal, reason, and industrial. So you can have all the different kinds of technological levels that you want. Like, so you can do steampunk if you want, or you just want to do a classic fantasy thing, or you want to go early and kind of do a Bronze Age thing. This game supports all of those different styles of play. Trade in currency, gear, languages and studies, the calendar, crime and punishment, history, geography, campaign qualities, adventure building, story seeds, PC motivations. There are some nice encounter charts in here. There's some nice naming convention charts to help you come up with random names if you want. Of course, all nice treasures. Reputation scores. There's a number of social mechanics built into this game, and again, it's the whole package deal, folks. You got to take all of it together. You pretty much can't pick and choose. These things are all tied into each other, and then you get into some of the things like how to cheat death and like can you cheat death and things like that in the game, or what happens when you cheat death in the game. Now, this is a complete system. It's a toolkit in the sense that within this game, you can pick and choose what elements of the game you want to use. But I do not think that you could use this set of rules to add something to a standard OGL Pathfinder campaign. There's just too much that it's different. It's good to play in its own as an entire system of itself. In that regard, it's a success. If you don't mind the rather steep learning curve that reading the book requires, if you don't mind the fact that it has a little more math in some ways and it's a little more technically minded, kind of reminds me of Traveler in that way. It's kind of a little engineering oriented, kind of a mental framework. It's a really good product. I'm hoping they take the master classes and combine them at some point into a single available document, either as a PDF or as a print book. Obviously, I prefer print of everything if I can. I print out PDFs so I can read them at my leisure in my lap. I don't like reading things on my computer screen. So I think this is a success. Gets 2 thumbs up for me. It's a bold, new take on the OGL. It really takes things as far as they can go. If you're looking for something like that, check this out. Read it. You'll probably like it. And if you don't, at least you had a really good time reading it. Because I enjoyed looking at how they took the game into new directions. It's fun. And that's what you dream about, isn't it, in a game? Fun. So I hope this was useful. I made every effort I possibly could not to compare things to Pathfinder. And I will probably make a follow-up video about this, about some afterthoughts I had that aren't really part and parcel of the review. So, have a good holiday weekend.